On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony drives around in circles and Ethan trades summons for summons. We talk about all of the week's biggest news and answer your questions. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
Hey, Tony.
What's going on, sir?
Same thing as every Saturday night about this time.
We're recording a podcast, just like we do every week.
Yes.
Well, we're now countdown 3 weeks away from Name Your Game Expo.
Man, that is close.
It is very close. I'm putting the final touches on our stage show this week. I'm going to get with Joe, finalize everything, do a test run, make sure everything works the way we want it to, and then we will be ready to go on stage for Name Your Game Expo.
You know what? I really need help getting one thing set up for us, and it's the buzzers for this. If anyone is familiar with coding for what am I coding in, Tony?
Python.
If anyone is familiar with coding in Python, send me a message on Facebook, please. Just you can just tag me in the Facebook group. I really do need some help trying to get this. It's so close. I just can't figure out where the code has gone wrong.
Yeah,
and when I change something, it messes everything else up. So.
We'd love to actually use these buzzers, if possible, for the show so that we can do this right.
So, coding in Python with a Raspberry Pi for buzz controllers for a PS2.
There you go. Somebody out there has to know what to do, right?
I sure hope so. I mean, if they can just hit me up one weekend, I'll copy and paste what I have and tell them what it's... I can show the error that it's given me, and if they just give me a suggestion to try, that would be great.
Well, all right. So, 3 weeks away here in the Tulsa area. So if you are here October 5th and 6th, come by and hang out with us for a little while. Talk to people about video games, board games. There's all kinds of stuff that's going to be happening that weekend. So
there'll be video games for sale too, I think.
I'm pretty sure there will be quite a bit of video games for sale.
Like our good friend Jason.
So I am very much looking forward to it. Getting back on stage for the first time in a while, I think is going to be a lot of fun. So right now,
it'll be interesting to see you back on stage.
Hopefully all goes well. Because I'd love to do this more. But if it goes poorly, that might not happen.
I remember that last stage. I was scared to walk on that thing.
It was rickety. You're right. Shelby and I both were a little nervous on that thing because every time you took a step, the whole platform would shimmy. So we tried to move as little as possible during that show.
Man.
But until Name Your Game Expo comes along, we still got video games to talk about. What have you been playing?
I finished Persona 5 again. So
how many times does that make?
Twice.
Okay.
And it is it's kind of nice knowing how to gain levels on there now. I think last time I mentioned it, I figured out how to grind out a bunch of levels really quick on there because the Reaper boss on there, you just go and fight him during flu season, and it's just get into you save before you go into a floor. He eventually shows up, and during flu season, there's a high chance of enemies having I think it's depression or despair.
Yeah.
I think it's despair. And all you got to do is wait them out, and they just kind of succumb to it and die in like 3 turns. And so the hardest enemy in the game that gives the best XP and stuff, you don't even have to fight him because he's just going to be too sad to fight you, and then he just dies.
Oh.
So it's kind of a cheating way, I guess you could say, of getting experience, but
Yeah.
just find that earliest state that can happen in the Mementos area and go and do that.
I don't really want to have to fight anything during flu season.
Oh, I mean, you're safe. Everything else isn't. But I mean, I don't do what I did. I went down there on the last 2 days where that was capable of being done. So that worked out against me badly.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I got to level 99, beat the game, over, done. Now I have like 2 of every key item that your friends give you in the game when you finish it.
Very nice.
But I'm moving on from that into Final Fantasy VIII remaster. Sorry.
Okay, what are you playing it on?
I started it on PC today. I did enough to see how well it runs, and I mean it's Final Fantasy VIII. Just better.
Only prettier.
Just the character models slightly prettier.
Really? Are the backgrounds still the same?
Yes, they're still horrible.
Oh, wow.
They're still in 4x3 as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got borders around the edges of the screen.
Yes.
That is weird. You'd think they would have updated that.
I mean, I can understand them not doing a widescreen, but it's just black borders. I don't even see an option to put
like a design around it or something?
Yeah. I don't even see that option. Yeah, just restarting it though, I had to go through all the content just before I could save.
Mm-hmm.
And that is such a... You know how many times I've restarted this game?
No, I don't.
A lot. And it never feels like it gets any shorter. It takes longer every time as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. That's really it. I've played a few games like that where you really want to play through them again, but you don't want to have to do the beginning because it takes so long just to
Exactly. It's like I should just make a save at the start of every game, and when I come back to it, just restart from there because I forgot what I was doing last time I played. That's the best thing I could ever do.
Yeah. You should have a save, especially for like Final Fantasy 13. Just have a save after the tutorial 20 hours. So that you can just start there.
No. It's like 60 hours in.
Oh, I don't know. It's that bad.
I do have a save that's like before the final boss or something on there. So.
I still want to get that whole trilogy. Like,
I still haven't. I haven't finished the 3rd game still. Because that is not a fun game to play.
I've got a PS3 just sitting there waiting for a copy of Final Fantasy 13, 13.2, and 13.3.
If I find them cheap enough. You can suffer with the rest of us. Point. You would think.
Alright, I'm going to the internet right now.
I was about to do it. But yeah, I'm gonna actually. I am gonna play Final Fantasy VIII. I've never completed Final Fantasy VIII. The furthest I've gotten is the Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
Your ship that you fly around. And I forget why I quit playing at that point. I don't know why. But every time I would go back to it, my I think it was the 3rd disc was scratched beyond repair or something.
Oh, that stinks.
So you go through the years since that game came out, and it's like, how many copies have I had, or how many times have I had to repurchase this game? Now I have not a pristine. I have a good copy that I'm taking the best care of that I can, and then I have like 2 different digital copies and on PC, so I have options now.
Yeah.
But I really want to finish this game at least once.
They're all $5 each on PS3.
$5 each. Final Fantasy X. Episode 0. What's that? Where'd you find them for $5 each?
GameStop.
Oh, okay. That explains it. Yeah, get them at GameStop.
GameStop's website. Each of them are $5 a piece.
GameStop is where I actually bought I think I maybe bought the first and second copies from.
Maybe if I buy Final Fantasy 13 from GameStop, it'll save them. That's going to be what puts them over the edge and brings them back from the brink of destruction.
They'll hoist you up onto their shoulders and congratulate you.
And then they'll ask me to pre-order something.
With a trade-in bonus.
And then I'll say, no.
Aw. Then they go bankrupt.
Oh. So that means I got to find another copy of Luigi's Mansion 3 somewhere else.
Exactly.
Maybe I won't buy Final Fantasy 13. If buying Final Fantasy 13 leads to me not getting Luigi's Mansion 3, I would be very sad.
That would be the strangest irony about this whole conversation.
I don't want to think about that now.
You've cursed yourself. It's going to happen now.
Great. Thanks, Lightning.
Now he sees why the rest of us don't like her.
Bullet Witch killed my Xbox, and Lightning made it so that I can never play Luigi's Mansion.
Lightning ruined Halloween.
That's the 4th game that never came out.
Oh gosh. She could ruin Halloween. Oh my gosh, that could be done in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, if you go to Halloween Town, yeah.
Dang it, Lightning.
Or not Halloween Town, what do they call it in...
I don't know.
I don't remember. I'm thinking of Halloween Town because I was talking to my wife about Halloween Town and Halloween Town 2 and all those movies earlier today.
I think I saw the first 2 of those.
There's 4 of those, man. There's 4 Halloween Town movies.
I don't understand how they could get a 3rd movie. They barely got a 2nd movie.
There's 4 of them. And
I love how far we have trailed away from the original topic here as well.
The 4th one, they recast the main character, so it's not even... I mean, she's the same character, but it's a different person playing her, so...
Same character, different... Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Thanks, Lightning.
Ruining everything.
All right.
So, yeah, Final Fantasy VIII. That's what I'm going to start playing. But then again, I guess Zelda comes out Friday, so...
Zelda comes out on Friday.
Oh, great.
I'm praying for an Amazon screw-up and I get it earlier than Friday.
You won't.
I know, but I would love it if it did happen.
So, that's what I've been playing, Final Fantasy VIII, after finishing Persona 5. What about you, Tony?
I have not been playing anything Final Fantasy related.
Well, you're doing it wrong.
So, at least not that I know of. Maybe there's some Final Fantasy connection somewhere. I've been playing NASCAR Heat 4.
Well, you do Chocobo racing in Final Fantasy.
That's true, but do they have sponsors plastered all over them?
Final Fantasy 15, your car can have sponsor stickers, I guess, for... Is her name Cindy?
Yeah.
I don't know. If you do it right, I bet you could.
And after the race, you said, I want to thank the Midgar 34 car Chocobo for running so well today. And you have to plug your sponsor every 13 words or you get fined.
Oh, man. I was trying to think of what the teams were in Final Fantasy X. For the Blitzball stuff.
I watched a video this week of earlier in the year, they did an esports thing with NASCAR Heat 3, and they did interviews with all of the players, and all of them were trying their hardest to be like actual NASCAR drivers. Like, yeah, I got a really good, 34 Chevron car today. It's been running really good. I want to thank Chevron and whoever my gaming sponsor is. All this, and I was like, it is the cringiest thing I've ever seen. Because NASCAR interviews are cringy enough as it is, having to mention every different possible sponsor that they have, and then having people try to pretend that they're NASCAR drivers and take it seriously.
Yeah.
It was so bad. And the race itself was bad too, because they crashed. The players were not the best. They crashed like every 3 laps, and they'd have to go and under caution, and it was bad.
Oh gosh.
So, it is definitely no iRacing league, that's for sure. Those iRacing guys take that very seriously.
Don't
anger
the iRacing guys. Got it.
If you are crashing people in iRacing, you will be out of iRacing very quickly. So, but I'm playing NASCAR Heat 4. It's the 4th game in this series of NASCAR games that have been out over the last few years. Played them all from NASCAR Heat 1 to NASCAR. It was NASCAR Heat something. I don't remember the subtitle of the first one. That had a subtitle, and then there was NASCAR Heat 2, and then 3, and now 4. The biggest sort of upgrades I've seen to this one are the drafting physics feel really, really good. In the past, it just it didn't feel like if you were getting in the draft behind another car that it was doing a lot. And in this one, I could really feel it. Like as soon as you get to where you're close enough to a car in front of you, or a car behind you is pulling up and getting into the draft. So, and the controller starts to rumble really nicely, and then you can tell that there's something in the physics engine going on, because you can actually see your car moving in closer to it not doing anything, because you can't press the button any harder than you're already pressing it, making you go faster. But the way drafting works is that you get a boost of speed from it in real life. So you feel your car suck up to the back of the other car, and it's almost like if you're drafting perfectly, they're joined like two like train cars, and they're moving along the track together, and you can feel that, and you see very clearly what's going on this time around, where I didn't ever really feel in previous versions of the game. So the physics engine feels like it's been greatly improved. There's a lot of stuff in this, little things too now, like when the cars are going around the track. Some tracks are notorious for having little bumps in them at particular places, or imperfections in the road, and you can see that and feel that this time around, whereas in the previous versions of the game you might get a little indication that there's something there on the track, but it doesn't affect the car in any way. And there have been a couple of times I've hit something, and it really does feel like the car is sliding out from under you, or if your tires are starting to get worn, you have very little control over the car. When you're tired, you can see the percentage of your tire wear, and it starts at 100. When it gets closer and closer to 0, the car starts to get looser and looser, and you start to lose control when you go around a corner. And there's been one time that I ran that car so hard that a tire blew, and it just sent me into a spin. And
wow,
it was crazy. There have been some things like that in the past. This just feels more realistic this time around than it ever has before. You can tell that the development team put a lot of work into the physics engine of the game this time around. So, on-the-track racing is better than it has been, and there's a lot more customization this time around to get the feel for what you want, whether you want it to be really arcadey or you want more of a simulation style race. That is terrifying. People that are listening and watching this have no idea what I'm looking at.
I thought they were adorable.
I mean, they are, but it looks like those slimes are eating those people's feet.
Or the person just stepped on 2 slimes.
Yeah.
They're Dragon Quest slime house shoes.
Yes.
Sandal things.
They've also made a change this time to the career mode, where in last year's game, if you started a career, you had to start at the lowest level that they have, which is dirt track racing, and then work your way up from there. And I hated the dirt track stuff. I have never been a big fan of playing dirt track. I mean, I like watching dirt track racing, but playing it is just, it's not fun. That's not the kind of racing I like to play. And so I had to struggle through that to get to the stuff that I really wanted to do. This time, when you start a career mode, you can start there, or there's another option that is called custom career or something like that. And it will let you pick which level of racing you want to start at. So you can start at dirt track, or you can go to the truck series or the Xfinity series, which is the sort of second tier NASCAR level, and then up to the monster series. And you can pick which one of those you want to start with. And my favorite is the trucks. That's always what I've loved to do. And so that's where I started. I am about halfway through my first truck season and doing really well.
Cool.
I'm not. I haven't won.
You say you're doing well, so I'm saying cool.
Yeah. When I say I'm doing well, I'm finishing consistently in like 20th to 25th place. So
I'm getting to the end of the track, finishing,
and I'm not crashing into other people, which is really nice. Because for last year's version of the game, I had to play it with a controller that didn't have analog triggers, which makes it really hard to control how fast you're going.
Mm-hmm.
This year I have an actual proper PS4 controller, so I can actually, ease off the throttle or, go hard and control my speed a little better, so it makes it much easier to not run into other racers.
That's always a good thing.
I really, really, really wish I had a wheel for this game, but I don't. And during career mode with some of this stuff, they do different interactions with drivers now, which I don't think they've had in the past. And so after a race, you'll get little like Twitter messages from the other drivers saying, you raced really well out there. You ran a clean race. I love it when people do that. There should be more racers like you, or they'll get mad at you if you bump into them more than just once or twice. If you spin somebody out, you'll get a really angry Twitter message. And then while you're reading those Twitter messages, there will also be some that occasionally will give you a video message, and it's actual like cell phone video of the drivers saying their lines rather than just reading them on the screen.
That sounds weird.
It is a little strange, but it's a neat little touch to make it just feel more personable. Of course, they don't say your name or anything like that. They're just like, you did a really good job out there today.
Yeah.
But then also you have the option to respond to those messages in one of two ways. If you can either just give them a compliment back, and it's just hitting a button, it's not actually you responding to the Twitter message, but you can compliment them if they say something nice to you, or you can give like a sort of snarky remark back, and that affects how nicely or how well the other drivers think of you. And there's levels from to I don't remember the next level, but basically they still don't like you, but they don't just hate you. And then there's neutral, polite, kind, friendly, and then your
not as strongly hating. Got it.
Yeah. But then also, if you do something like you accidentally spin somebody out or something like that, when they send you that angry Twitter message, you can apologize to them, and that will help raise their relationship level with you. And then that, of course, affects how they react to you on the track. If they're a rival of yours, they'll drive a little more aggressively around you. Not necessarily try to spin you out, but they won't, be sad about spinning you out or things like that.
Can you send them angry Twitter messages or spinning you out?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, where's the fun in that?
So maybe next year.
Just send the real person a real Twitter message. Be like, how dare you do this in this video game?
I have seen a couple people who have played the game have gone onto Twitter and tweeted the actual driver because of interactions that they've had in the game. So
that's great.
And they've always been really fun, really nice interactions. They're not, actually angry at the real driver, but they'll take a screenshot of something that the driver said in the game, and then they'll be like, "Hey, man, don't talk to me like that." And then they'll tweet the actual driver. And sometimes they'll get a response from the actual drivers, which is really fun.
Well, it's good to see they're having fun with it.
Yeah, they are. So I really, really love NASCAR games. I always have. And this is one of the better ones that I've played in a long time. There's some things I'd really like to see tweaked, like some of the driver assists. You can go in and change some of them, but there's some that I'd really like to add and some that I wouldn't necessarily want to have all the time. Like when I'm racing on a road course, I'd like to have, that driver line. Like, in other racing games, Forza, whatever, the green line that's on the track that shows you how fast you're going in relation to like where you are on the track.
Yeah.
And as it gets, if it gets red, you need to slow down because you're coming up to a turn or whatever.
Yeah, red just means you're not going to make this turn.
Yeah, you're going way too fast. You should stop. They have that in this, but you can only have that on during practice sessions. And so one thing I'd really like to do is I'm rubbish. Like I am garbage at road courses. So anytime I have to turn right, that's when things in a NASCAR game. I'd really like to be able to turn that driver line on just for road courses. And I can't do that. I can only use it in practice, so I have to really get in a bunch of laps before a race so that I can start to remember different parts of the track. And I know that's really what you're supposed to do, but I'd like to have that on just specifically for road courses so that I can get some.
That way you're not going way off the course.
Exactly. I don't, I want to play the game and I want to play it the way you're supposed to. I don't want to go into a road course and spin everybody out because I'm going too fast. And so just that one small little thing, and even if you can't use it when you're playing online, whatever. I mean, there is online, and you can go in and you can tweak all kinds of settings in online races too. So you can have races where driver assists are allowed. You can have other races where they're not. I did play one online race or a couple online races with some of the community this week and had a lot of fun doing that. I got my reminder this week as to why I don't have voice chat on in random matches of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't getting yelled at, but somebody was reading adult material into the microphone.
Okay.
So I had to very quickly get out of that. I had headphones on, so nobody else. But I tried to get out of that as quickly as I possibly could.
As one does, yes.
And then immediately switched the lobby to private so that only the members of the community, for us, were able to get into the race.
Good.
But other than that, it's been really nice. There's lots of different things you can do. There's people that take the game a lot more seriously than others. Some people are like, get in, we'll just have some fun. Drive backwards on the course. I don't care. Which I've done in offline because you're required to in a NASCAR game. Is at some point you have to stop, turn around, and go the other direction and see how much mayhem you can cause.
Because no one tells you not to.
And so I did. And I launched a car about 50 feet in the air doing that.
Nice.
And it was fantastic. I didn't know, NASCAR cars are not known for their aerodynamic, properties. So I didn't think you could actually launch a car 50 feet into the air, but it was like I just hit, this nice wedge-shaped doorstop, and that car just took off. So that was fun.
I would imagine it was.
But I'm having great fun in the game, like I always do. I love NASCAR games. I always have. So any chance I can get in and, drive around in a circle for a while, I will take that opportunity. So if anybody out there has this game and you want to do some online racing, let me know, because I will take you up on that offer. But that is it for me. So let's take a quick break. We will come back and we'll talk about the news. Okay, so the news this week is all you, Ethan. You brought us all the news this week.
Oh, yes, I did.
There's some interesting stuff in here, too. A lot of dating sims being talked about this week in the video game world.
Well, that is true, and you left the news to me, so of course it's in the news.
So let's hit the dating sim news. What's going on in the world of video game dating sims?
Apparently, there's a Norman Reedus dating sim. It's called Death Stranding.
Okay. I knew this game was weird. I didn't know what was going on with it though. So
apparently, there's a private room feature, and it's just I'm gonna guess shenanigans that you can have while Norman Reedus is in there doing his thing. Whatever his character is named in that game, because I have no idea. Sam. Oh, his character's name's Sam. So he goes in to recover from fatigue. Once he's in there, you no longer control him, but you have camera movement, and you can get various reactions from him.
Mm-hmm.
Kojima described it kind of like a gal game or a dating sim.
Great.
And well, Tony, you were talking about it during the pre-show, but apparently you can look at Norman's crotch area, and he will eventually get mad, get up, and punch you.
Wow.
So,
I mean, I would do the same thing, to be fair.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
you got to be respectful, man.
My eyes are up here, man.
So yeah, that seems kind of out there for even a Kojima game, so I had to throw it in the news.
Yeah.
The
more I hear about this game, the more bizarre it just gets.
Apparently, you can make him do silly faces and get screenshots of him sticking his tongue out and stuff.
You know they're having a lot of fun making this game, but it is so weird.
This is probably all the outtakes and stuff they had from the motion capture. But yeah, so there will be some fun that can be had with Death Stranding in just silly ways like that. Okay. Moving on, away from dating sims, for the moment.
Oh, we'll revisit them.
Yes, we will. Final Fantasy Remake gets a classic mode for people who really enjoy the original Final Fantasy VII. So,
in other words, the proper way to play the game.
Yes, your ATB bar will fill up automatically. You don't have to do the stuff where you're hitting the enemy to build it up or anything. Mm-hmm.
It just basically takes that more action-oriented combat that we've been seeing in the trailers and just says, you know what, everybody, you stand on your sides of the screen and you stay there till it's your turn.
So yeah, if you're not used or if you're not looking forward to being action oriented,
like a proper RPG.
there you go. You have your other way of playing, which I might check that out if I feel like it. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the action version of it
I'll play the
myself.
whole daggum game in classic mode.
I kind of hope there's a way to switch it back on and off because I might want to save and try something different here and there.
Yeah. That would be really cool if they do give you that option. So, like, if you fight a battle and you're like, you know what, I don't really like this, instead of having to get out of the game completely and changing stuff up, just be like, there's a menu option somewhere that will change from active to not passive battles, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Along with that, there was some game. There's a bunch of Tokyo Game Show news this week. Honestly, is what this is.
Yeah.
And there was new footage. They showed off the summons. Everyone, you can equip just one summon to each person, so you can't just have one person equipped with like 5 different summons now, which is sad. But you'll build up a summon bar, summon the creature, and then that bar will slowly drain. And you can actually control. I think you can play as that. Like if you summon Ifrit, whatever. Ifrit. You summon him, then you have control of him instead of Cloud. Or I guess you can just choose to have control of him.
Yeah.
And you get to do various attacks, and then whenever that bar depletes, you'll do your ultimate move or whatever. So that's kind of cool to know as well.
Yeah.
And that's definitely going to be a vastly different way of playing the game compared to the original, where you could just have like Knights of the Round, Bahamut Zero, and other cool stuff equipped on you at all times.
This game really does look fantastic.
I honestly believe they're putting a lot of care into this.
You know, they have to. If they screwed this up, they would be in a lot of trouble.
Right.
Like, there are few titles out there that if you're going to do something with it, you have to do it right, or the fans will not. They'll not be happy, and they will not let you forget it.
Because they will never forget. Let's see. Next part of the news is Project Resistance, the new Resident Evil game.
So, Resident Evil 3.
No, the new game, not a remake.
Oh, yeah, this is that game they teased this week.
Yes. This is the multiplayer kind of a survival thing going on, similar to, I guess, kind of similar to Resident Evil Outbreak?
So what was that Raccoon City game?
That was more like that Raccoon City or was it Umbrella Operations or something? I don't know. Anyway, this one's closer to what's that game? Is it Dead by Daylight or Dead by Dawn or
Dead by Daylight.
So I'm assuming you only max out of. Well, you know what? I have the thing. I should read it. Let's see. Looks like you play as one of 4. You can be on a team of 1 of 4 survivors.
Okay.
Or you can be the other person who is the mastermind / person who can play as the tyrant.
So you get to control the zombie. Or what?
Okay, all right. Mastermind can add traps and zombies until they run out of cost points. Although cost points regenerate naturally over time. You have to watch through security cameras that can also sometimes have additional abilities like firing a machine gun or enhancers that toughen your zombies, but if the camera becomes hacked, then it becomes unviewable. Let's see, creatures like tough zombie, you can get direct control of the tyrant. So yeah, it's going to be kind of a brutal game, really.
Yeah. So they're going back to the multiplayer well for Resident Evil.
Yeah, and they're taking that Dead by Daylight or Friday the 13th kind of vibe to it as well, where you have one person who's the actual enemy, and you're just up against really horrible odds. But I mean, this is like one of the few where you can actually fight back, so that's great.
Yeah. So people have not always been very pleased with the Resident Evil multiplayer games.
That's a good way to say that, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how this one is received.
It's like I really want to go back and play Outbreak, and Outbreak File 2, but I would have to get friends, and we'd have to have like servers to play on, which I don't think there is a server up and running it for that anymore. But that could be a really cool thing that Capcom could bring back at some point,
Mm-hmm.
Especially with systems that use hard drives now.
Whoa.
Next piece of news we have is Neo Geo. They announced their console.
So yeah, a few weeks ago that they were going to be bringing out a new console.
Yes, they mentioned they were bringing a what's it called? Next gen console. That's what it was, and it would have some compatibility with the Neo Geo Mini.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to take a drink there. And now we know what it is. It's the console itself is the Neo Geo Arcade Stick Pro, and just like the name, it is an arcade stick. An 8-button arcade stick. It's going to have joystick, mode indicator, 8 buttons. It has turbo options, start, select, mode switch, and platform switch. It's also got power input port, HDMI output, a USB port. There's a cable storage box on it. There's Neo Geo Mini Pad port, headphone output port, and Neo Geo Mini. Oh, another player. Okay. You can plug the Neo Geo Mini controllers into it and just play off those. Okay. So that's why there's 2 ports on there.
So this is not a new console, unfortunately. This is
no. This let's see. It's going to come pre-installed with 20 classic SNK fighters, fighting games or whatever. So yeah. Expect a bunch of Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, Samurai Showdown, and whatever those other things they make are.
It's not a bad little thing if you're a big fan of classic fighting games, and it's neat that they're giving you a fight stick to play it with. It's not going to be high quality professional level fight stick, but it's a neat way.
I don't know. It might be fairly decent quality because this is SNK.
Yeah, but it's not going to be those really high tier.
Oh no, not that crazy, but I mean SNK's got some pretty good stuff. So yeah, that's a thing that's coming out, and maybe we'll actually find out that that's not the big announcement they were actually hiding. Maybe they really will have their own console. That's I guess next gen. Let's see. Next piece of news. Oh, last piece of news. Here we go. KFC is bringing out a dating sim.
What?
Yep, we're back to the dating sim talk. And Kentucky Fried Chicken has a dating sim.
I did not believe this was real when I first heard about it, but then saw the trailer, and sure enough, it is a real thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to say about this.
I mean, it looks really kind of neat. Visually, it's really well done. It is very, anime style. visuals, but it looks like it's going to be really well done and not just a silly sort of.
I think it's gonna be a very silly game.
Okay, it very well could be, but I'm talking. It's not like Bush's Baked Beans level of tie-in game. It looks like it's going to be something substantial.
Well, now you have a game where you can try and date the Colonel.
Because we all know everybody wants to.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is not. I mean, you can see it in the trailer, but this is not old Colonel Sanders. This is like high school aged.
This is the young hotness.
Yeah. So you're in culinary school, I think, during this game. So
You can find out the secrets to those 11 herbs and spices.
it is. I can't believe we're actually talking about this, but it is a real thing, and
how could we not talk about this?
It's going to happen. It's coming to PC, I think, and if it does actually come to consoles, I'm thinking I might.
The game is called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator.
Isn't there a dog?
There's a dog. It's for Steam. Unless they announce it for the Epic Games Store randomly.
Oh.
Oh, man.
So
that's just what we want. Drama around a KFC dating sim.
Oh, man.
With the Epic
I could not
Games
handle
Store.
that.
Oh, man.
They got all that exclusive Epic money.
So, that is it for the news.
All right. Well, let's move on to listener feedback. And our first one this week comes from Christy via Facebook, who wants to know, what is our favorite Castlevania game?
Ooh.
I have an answer. It's always the same. It's Super Castlevania 4. That is the best Castlevania.
It's a pretty good game. I'm trying to think. I really enjoyed the story from... Okay, alright. Symphony of the Night was pretty good. That's kind of where I started. The first full game I played was Lament of Innocence, or whatever. It was cool for a 3D game. But I'm going to have to go with Aria of Sorrow.
Okay, it's a good choice.
Yeah.
I guess Kid Dracula should be everybody's answer, but
that one's so adorable.
It is so strange that that is like part of the actual Castlevania canon. And it is so adorable. It is so weird. So different. It is not what you would expect from a Castlevania game. But no, Super Castlevania 4 has always been my favorite. Unless I can say Bloodstained Curse of the Moon.
No, it's not Castlevania. But it's Castlevania.
But it is Castlevania.
Let's see. Where? Oh, show notes. Okay. Next one is from Nathan via Facebook. Name a movie you would like to see adapted into a video game. For me,
Monster Hunter.
This is Nathan. For me, it's John Wick.
That would make a fantastic video game.
And he doesn't mean John Wick Hex. He put that as an extra note on here.
That is an actual thing. It's coming out. Is it? It's not out yet, is it? Or is it out?
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, somebody is actually making a John Wick. It's like a turn-based strategy game.
Oh.
Not what you would expect from a John Wick game. You would expect more of an action shooter. Like Super Hot would make the perfect the perfect template for a John Wick game.
I'll agree to that.
So if they did, that would be what I would want from a John Wick game. I jokingly said Monster Hunter. We're already getting that, so I can't use that.
No, he said a good movie, Tony.
Oh, hey, that might be good. You never know.
Or no, wait. A movie turned into a video game, not game turned movie.
Oh, okay. I got it backwards. Sorry. My bad. Oh, so let's see. Resident... No. Those Resident Evil movies would make great video games.
If only.
Super Mario... No. I would say something like The Legend of Zelda, but I know I don't really want that as a movie because that would be so weird. It would never live up to any of...
That's a video game to a movie, again.
Again, yeah, I'm going backwards. What am I doing? I don't understand the question, apparently.
Oh, man.
Expendables. Let's go with that. The Expendables movie.
I think they had a video game.
Did they? Dang it.
I think.
Top Gun. No?
That's got an NES game. I have it on... there it is. Second game on my shelf right here.
The Dark... Wait, no. The Dark Crystal's getting a video game. Dadgummit.
There's just no winning.
No, there's not. Everything I would say already has a video game. Lord of the Rings has a video game. Star Wars has a video game. I can't even go like the Disney route because all of those have video games.
Well, while you're thinking that over, Nathan, for your amusement, my answer is Crank.
Ooh, good choice.
Yes.
Is there not a Crank video? There has to be a Crank video game.
There
right?
is not.
Oh my gosh.
The second movie made a lot of video game 8-bit reference stuff in the start of it, but there's no video game for Crank.
Man, I don't know.
What's a movie you saw recently?
The Grinch. I don't watch a ton of movies anymore.
I'm pretty sure The Expendables got a video game.
Hold on, I'm going to Voodoo right now, and I'm just gonna pull the first thing I see and say that is the video game that I want to see.
The Expendables 2 video game gameplay PC HD trailer. Okay. So yeah, there's a video game for the second movie.
Mr. Mom. There you go. Mr. Mom is the very first thing I see. That needs a video game. Don't know how you would do it, but...
It's a dating sim. At least you didn't go with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello! Yeah. A lot of these other things, I think, have video games. Austin Powers. Is there an Austin Powers video game?
No.
Okay. We'll go with Austin Powers. That could be a 1970s looking spy thriller video game. There you go. Say that.
I don't...
Shades of Grey. No.
Okay. All right. So I think we just need to end the show.
That's probably a good
before
idea.
You go off the deep end any further.
My answer is Austin Powers. That's what I would make into a video. So, there you go. Well, thank you very much, Ethan, for being on the show this week.
Yeah. Date sims. Yay.
Austin Powers, the dating sim. If you want to reach out to us, we have new ways to do so. You can email us at procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com. If you like what we do, you can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/pgent. Patreon supporters get the video version of the podcast a day early. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel, and we still have that famous Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.